So, okay, well, we've got 2 minutes. I'm just going to keep trying to fill the time and give everybody a chance to come in. Hi, Arissa. Congratulations on your marriage, sweetheart. I am so happy for you. Woohoo! Arissa Bell just got married, everybody. And hi, Heather Gordon. How are you doing? I just want to make sure I say hi to everybody and talk about what I want to do. So if those of you who don't know me, my name is Leslie Onstead. I'm the crazy colorist that came up with the idea of making colors for artists 27 years ago. If you can think about that, wrap your mind around that. 27 years goes in a snap. So I had this idea. I got frustrated, really. It was all about frustration that when I had my favorite bottle of paint and I'd gotten down to where, you know, you only have a little bit left in the bottom and that air gap in the bottle had formed a skin and dried up. I'm like, you know, it was really frustrated. Sometimes it's your favorite blue and you're not sure if you can get it again. Hi, Donna. Hi, Donna. How you doing? So I had this idea, what if I could take color, and yes, I love golden paint, so I happen to have a tube of it right here. The color that's in normal year paint and the sparkle, because I am a bling girl, and of course we have our line Bling It, put them together in one and create a coloring system that there was no shelf life. I didn't have to worry about if it ran out. So I came up with the idea of primary elements 20 years ago. Hi, Cassie. 20 years ago, this was one of the first colors I took to the rubber stamp show in Carson, California. I'll never forget Suze Weinberg. I'm not sure if some of you know who she is. She used to be the name of Ranger before Tim Holtz came and she retired. But she took some of this jasmine pink, spiked her hair with it, put it on her cheek, and she said, this stuff is fabulous. And the idea at the show was we've taken ground color and sparkle, put it in a jar. We had people buy these little beta tests. Hi, Junior Jordan. We can buy these little beta kits, and we asked people to tell us what you love, tell us what you hate, how could we fix it, what can we do, what are we going to name it? We didn't even know we were going to name it yet 20 years ago. It was just a beta test. This was when AOL was sending out all those AOL CD beta tests, right? So Primary Elements was born, and yet the public didn't quite know what to do with it. Lo and behold, rubber stampers and scrapbookers weren't interested in mixing paint. We mix paint nowadays. Imagine 20 years ago when people they weren't interested in mixing paint, right? So Primary Elements was born, but it was like a slow movement. We ended up doing our watercolor line, Twinkling H2Os first. And it wasn't until about 2016-17 when Anne-Marie Ritterhoff in the Netherlands, hi Heidi, discovered this stuff and she started using it in acrylic pourings. Now, a few years later, a fabulous customer by the name of Judy Sand, maybe I should just call her Judy, she's also known as the Fairy Art Mother, came up with the idea. She said, can't you do this for resin? And it took me, hi Josh, how you doing, dude? I just saw you're live. So I came up with the idea, well, she came up with the idea in 2018 and I was tasked to make it. We were able to make it. I love you calling me young lady, especially at the age of 70. Very much so, sir. Thank you so much for the kindness. So we came up with resin art for the epoxy. Now, this has color that is solvent, meaning it dissolves in epoxy. It's soluble with epoxy. Epoxy is different than acrylic, okay? The primary elements really aren't designed to go directly into epoxy, but you can pre-dissolve it in our Vivid Art fluid. There's a whole process. We've got it up on our website, but this was mainly designed for anything that cleans up with soap and water, okay? After that, it's like, what do we do? Well, we have the Blingets. When we made these two categories, suddenly I had to have a category that was just the mica, right? So we have the Bling It line. It comes in the 60 ml jar. It comes in the 30 ml jar. Mostly it's your interferences and your gold, your copper, bronzes, but there are a few of the color. We have some color-coded mica for the homage of the people that are into the color-coded mica, you know, but there's so many beautiful color-coded micas out there. Just ask Josh. He plays with black diamond and the stuff is absolutely fabulous. So then what do we do next? Well, I wanted to make a liquid line and I wanted to do it in deep base. I'd never seen a paint made in deep base. Add a little varnish to prism pour and it's gonna bloom and swipe with the cell activator for you right away. I know I'm doing my sales pitch, people, but this is the first time getting on camera and kind of running through the line and how we led up to this purely pigment. So the prism pour it dries really fast. It's a high surface tension, but it is a beautiful paint and it's packed full of all kinds of shimmery goodness. And it is made with artist grade colors. Well, then there was a texture artist that I took a class from, Carol Nelson, and she was doing beautiful work with fluid acrylics and said, hey, I've got all the color that we're making the prism pour with. Why not come out with our own fluid acrylics? And we did the Vivid Intense fluid acrylics. And yes, Nickel Wazzle Gold is in our line. I know it's been a very controversial color. There is a workaround to get around by not having the quinacridine gold, because we know that Golden made the announcement, you can't get this anymore. Hi, Jan. Hi, Zadur. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Okay, so what's the deal with the purely pigments? Okay, the concept was giving you guys the pure color. I've never seen this done before. I'm always trying to find a lane that nobody's kind of done yet. So to give you a benchmark, your tube or bottle paint, I'm gonna give you some benchmarks here. A tube or a bottle paint has about a 1/2 mil to 30, and 30 mils is an ounce, okay? That's the average. Some are 1/4, some are 1/2. Your fluid acrylics like Golden, Matisse, hi there, Hamali. Boy, I hope I pronounced that right. You have a beautiful name. Hi, Jacqueline. The fluid acrylics are about 3 to 4 mils to 30, okay? 5,000% more color than you're ever gonna find in any bottle or tube paint. Basically, this is 25, 26 mils of color to 30 with just enough of a carrier to get it to flow. Now, when I first saw this, I thought, wow, well, I obviously can make a paint. I think encaustic artists could have good luck with this. I saw somebody post today that they're tinting their texture paste with it. I'm not sure if it can be used as making pastels, but I'd be curious if somebody would be willing to do it. I know it's going to be fabulous in the resin because we don't have to worry about it being acrylic. Finally, we can put an artist grade color in our resin and not just be limited to, yes, beautiful mica powders, but just mica powders, right? So the Purely Pigments was launched. We've had some samples going out. Recently, we did a 12-piece release of the last prism pours that just got launched. This weekend, I will be splitting them up. So over the weekend, you'll see you can get the fall and the winter set in these and not have to buy all 12 to get this. Hello, I love your avatar, Bijana. Nice to meet you. Hi, Jim Gherkin. Nice to meet you. But when you got this 12 color pre-release, you got the first color that was launched. Now, it looks black in the bottle, but this is a really beautiful deep teal, okay? Now, I know Kathleen McGee's been playing with the teal. When Becky Selman reached out to me, her message was, holy cow. Hey, what's this stuff gonna sell for? So I'm gonna try really hard to take a little bit of some water that I've got in here and give you a benchmark. Now it's just gonna drop a drop all in its own just by gravity. That's one drop. That's quite a bit of water, okay? Let's try a second drop. If I had to guess, this is probably almost 2 ounces. Okay, so that's just 2 little drops in, I'd say probably maybe 1.5 ounces of water. I did do a test of mixing it in varnish with a little bit of a sparkle violet so we can get an idea of what the one drop looks like. But here's the thing, fluid artists, you know, as we have evolved since 2016, it was like 2 paint, a little bit of Liquitex pouring medium, and some water. Now we are using almost 50 to 70% of extenders with all these techniques coming out. We're washing the color out of it while we're trying to get it down to that supreme consistency that we all need, right? Because everything's all about consistency. And probably the most common thing that I hear people say is, oh my God, it was so pretty when I poured it. Where did the red go? Well, where do you think the red went? You washed it out by 70%. By the way, this is a quinacridine magenta, but we are calling it pure magenta because the vivid intense colors have similar artist grade color names. I had to take a little creative license, and like my diazazine violet is actually called black plum, and it sure does look black in the bottle. But the point is, we're taking all the color away by putting the extenders in. So why not take that last step before you do your piece, add a couple drops of color in to get your color saturation back in. It's not going to mess with your consistency, and you're good to go. So I'm going to run down some of these colors. So like I said, you've seen the deep teal. We have, because I can't really call it nickel as a gold, I've actually already got a color called nickel as a gold. We're calling this one golden nickel. And like I said, it's just that pure color. Thank you, Bijana. I love it. Hello, Helen. It's the pure unadulterated color put in the bottle. And this is the nickel. This is called golden nickel. Okay. The purest phthalo blue I can give you, but because I've already used phthalo blue, this is called azure blue. Okay. This one's fun. Pink papaya. It's a coral, but with quite a pop of pink. It's pure color, so it's going to dry however you mix it in, Jacqueline. So if you put it in something shiny, it's going to dry shiny. If you put it in something matte, it's going to go matte. That's just like when we're making paint. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the whole point, what I said was I was all this buildup of I knew we could use it in our acrylic pouring, but the most exciting part is going to be resin. That's absolutely right. Who just asked about the resin? Who was it? Someone just asked if we can put it in epoxy. Yes, Jill, absolutely. Because there's no acrylic in this, there's just enough carrier to get it to move, and pure color. They're going to be phenomenal in resin. Okay, phenomenal. The next color on the list, and there'll be mixing beads in these. Here's the sour apple, really pretty color. And I don't know if any of you have noticed on our sale where you get a $99 order. I wanted to bring this up because it makes me think of this. The $99 order, you get the free sample. Well, I had this wild idea. You know, when I launched Prism Pour, or when I'm launching a new line, but specifically when I did the Prism Pour, I sat down and I must have made 12 to 14 different variations of butternut squash. Okay, that beautiful orangey yellow meat inside of the butternut. That stuff's still sitting in my hall in a bin. What good is it doing anybody? So when I'm making this line and rolling it out, because I'm going to be picking more colors as I'm making these, okay, let's say I've made 4 variations of a lime. What we're going to do is one made it into the line. The other 3 are going to be sent to you guys as samples. You will actually have an opportunity to have a one-of-a-kind sample made by me, because it's certainly not going to do any good collecting dust on the shelf. So that's kind of a big thing with this promo. Since we hand make everything right here in California, why not give you my lab samples as these samples that are going out with the $99 orders? I think it'd be really cool for you to have something handmade by me, okay? Or at least I thought it was cool. The next color, I've already showed it in the camera, is the pure magenta. I'm going to try to drop some of this in water. I think it's more exciting to see some of this color in the water. Man, this stuff is so strong. So here's the water. Let's put 2 little drops of the quinacridone magenta in here. And holy cow. Ha! Apple silicone mold, make an actual sour apple. Wow, what a great idea, Josh. I love that idea. Okay, so this is your quinacridone magenta, not to be confused with hollyberry. And boy, compared to this looks orange, but this is actually a clean, bright red. Let me get the cap on this thing back on. So this is called hollyberry, and it's just the purest red that isn't really going orange or isn't going too blue. But I'm gonna put them side by side. Let me get this. Yes, I put the caps on real tight because I don't want them to leak, right? I'm gonna put 1 drop. Well, it'll probably go 2 anyway, whether I like it or not. 2 drops of this red. And very different from what the magenta looks like, right? So you can see the 2 colors with that pure magenta and that hollyberry. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Pam. Saskia. Woohoo! She made it, baby. Okay, so we've talked about the magenta and the hollyberry red. Ooh, I know one fun color we've got to play with, the diazazine violet. Now in the line, this is going to be called Black Plum, okay? I already have a diazazine violet. That would confuse people. Yes, it's really, really potent, Josh. I have to send you some of this stuff to play with. I really do. Our affiliates, many of them are chomping at the bit, and we're happy to say that Josh is one of our happy affiliates. Even though he can't do art all the time, he does it when he can. So, wow. 2 drops. I got to be really careful to close the lid on that thing because that diazazine is super strong. Look at that violet. Oh, I'm wondering if I can dip some paper in here. Saskia had suggested that somehow I dip paper in this thing. 2 drops, folks, in water. Can you see this, man? 2 drops. I am blown away by how pretty this diazazine is. But again, we're calling it Black Plum. The bottle does actually look black, right? Yeah, when the girls got the samples, it was like, it looks black, and yet if you turn that deep teal upside down, you can see a little turquoise on the bottom of the bottle. If we take this diazazine violet, it actually looks like a really weird green. That's just the color, but believe me, it's purple. It's not quite giving us the purple. I think it's just the way that color base is made, but it's purple. Okay. Let's see what else we've got here. Oh, Mellow Yellow. Okay, this is a really bright Hansa yellow, but I brightened it to its maximum capacity that I could. We'll be having more warmer yellows and other colors. And believe me, it took everything in me not to make an eggplant or not to make a Prussian violet, because I love making colors. But I figured in this very first release, I need to give you pure, clean colors that you can mix. So you want to mix this yellow and red together. You're definitely going to get a beautiful orange, right? You want to mix the blue and the red together. I don't know why you would do that, because we have such a pretty purple. Who would want to make a purple, right? Another one of the colors that's really a favorite for everybody is a phthalo green. We've called this Perfect Peacock, again, because I can't use the name phthalo green anymore. It's already in the Vivid Intense line. So, 2 drops of phthalo green in the cup. Now, those of you that have never played with phthalo green, it's the prettiest, cleanest green. Phthalo, there are phthalo mines in the Middle East where these things are mined. But you add a tiny bit of yellow to this, and it's going to go green, green. You actually add a tiny bit of blue to it. It's going to go turquoise, turquoise. I'm going to take a risk here, and I've not even tried this on camera, but let's see what happens if I add 1 drop of yellow to this thing. Novel idea. Yep, see, now it's turning more of that Christmas green. The phthalo green's really unusual because it feels like it's pushing the envelope to turquoise, and it kind of is. It's right on the border. But you add a little bit of yellow, now we're getting more of that Christmas green. Let's add another drop of yellow. It's gonna keep getting a little bit more and more up there. Now, what if I wanted to make this an earth tone green? Like, plants don't necessarily come out that perfect emerald green, right, in nature. So this is going to be difficult because a drop of red really is going to change this, but why not have a little fun since we're on camera doing this together? See now, whoa, 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 whoa. That was a little too strong. Let's see what this did. Holy moly, did I make a brown? Wow. It went way too dark. That red was too much. Normally when you're trying to make a green and you want to make it a little bit more earthy, you just need a pinch of red, but I think that was just a little bit too much red in there because it looked like it turned it into a brown, which is not what I was planning on. So I'm trying to clean up the mess on the table while I'm looking kind of like I know what I'm doing here. Okay. One last item here, and I'm looking for the paper towels because I have a mess here. Sorry, guys. Oh, well, I guess we're just going to have to live with a mess here. There is a... Here it is. Sorry. Yeah, I made a mess. I had a color dump on me. I knew I was going to have a struggle of keeping them on the table and not tighten them all the way, and something might dump over, and it did. Okay, so your bonus color, we've kind of run through them all the colors that are in the line. Now the bonus, I'm going to put a little sparkle in it. I'm going to surprise everybody. And even when you get the samples that come with your $99 order, don't be surprised if you happen to get one that has a little bling bling in it. I can't help myself. I have this thing about sparkle. You can see I dumped something on here. I'm trying to clean up my mess and look like I know what I'm doing at the same time. This color is called Dancing Fuchsia. Hi, Heather Renee. How you doing, honey? And it is a pure rhodamine shocking pink. I've got some varnish here and I've got some water. Let's see what it looks like. And I put some beautiful sparkling blue in it. I know this is a color that definitely Priscilla Batzel would love. Priscilla's all about that hot rhodamine pink. But I'm gonna see if I can't rub some on the paper here. Boy, when I made this, it sparkled like crazy. I'm just gonna drop some of this down here and see if I can't get this to show up on the camera. Now, I'm not sure if the light's hitting this just right. We'll see if we can hit this, if you can see the interference blue and the sparkling blue in this. But we are gonna make one that's got a little sparkle sparkle. That'll be your bonus color as an homage to it. Yeah, you can start to see the blue as it's drying there. It's drying really quick, right? Drying really super quick. I have a feeling 16 ounce of paint. Well, if it's 1 to 2 drops per ounce, you might get away with 8, Jessica. That might work. Okay, now this is starting to dry. Can you see that sparkle in there? Come on, get the light, get it for me, will you? Because it's dazzling on the camera here. That beautiful blue shimmering in that rhodamine pink. Yeah, it is pretty. I had a calligrapher here help me last weekend. We were getting the house cleaned up for some visitors, and he wants to run this through a calligraphy pen. He thinks he can. So, anyway, guys, I really appreciate you joining me. I wish I could be flipping my camera more and doing more samples. I've tried several times. The holder that I have it on, when I flip it over, it flips over. And I wasn't going to take a chance at having that happen, right, while we're trying to do a live. Now, there is a possibility Facebook does premieres. We're thinking about doing that possibly next week, and if we can get this organized, I'd love to do the premiere where there's a video where we can show off what we're doing, right? And then at the end, do a live where we can chat and talk about what we saw, okay? And then I can do the drawings, because I planned on having drawings and giveaways for you guys, but we just couldn't get everybody together and get Facebook Live to work. And I'm sure it's the operator, me, not Facebook per se. It's just trying to get all the equipment and everything to work together. So if you guys have any questions, Heidi, Heather, Renee, Andrea, anybody's got any questions out there before I sign off, happy to help. And I plan on buying a set. Thank you very much. Yeah, they're marked down 1 week. It's $10 off. And it's free freight for all orders over $120, and we're only doing that in November. I don't ever do free freight, if any of you guys know me, because freight's too volatile. But we figured for the, the month of November, offer a free freight program to give you guys a little bit of a break, because money's kind of tight. So, hi Monica. We are just about to sign off. And I want to thank you guys for joining me from the bottom of my heart. And once again, my name is Leslie Onsted. I'm the owner and the one that creates, and my team mixes and pours and caps and fills for you right here in California. So take care. Hi, Robin Wood. The replay should be up pretty soon. Yeah, spice up the colors. Absolutely, Heidi, you're absolutely right. I mean, that's been the ongoing thing, is once we get that consistency exactly how we want it, but we've washed out the red or the blue so much, it's not as vibrant. Let's add some vibrancy back into our work. It's not a bad idea, Heather. Right, and Becky, you're right. They are all handmade right here in the USA. Thank you, Marissa. You're a sweetheart. Great seeing you. Monica, you'll be able to see the replay, honey. And I want to thank you one more time for joining me, and peace out and have a beautiful Thanksgiving holiday, y'all. Bye.